Hey y'all. So I let y'all know a little bit ago. It's probably been about a month or so, a little bit over a month. Um, that we were supposed to be talking about healthy relationships versus toxic connections. Now, this is something that Pamela Johnson, thank you so much for giving me my topic. I was in the Z spot right after the grief show, the live that I did, and I put a poll up, and I definitely appreciate everybody at the Z spot, giving me feedback and you know, just being there, supporting the page, supporting what we're trying to do out here. Anyway, again, um, we are talking today about healthy relationship versus toxic connections. It took me a while to do this one because I have been writing, writing because I feel like this is a huge topic that I get a lot of times in session, and um, it's not just about a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. These are relationships in general. So, first, I wanted to get into healthy. What is a healthy relationship? And I mean, I want it, when you're thinking about these type things, like, um, you know, think about how it makes you feel. A healthy relationship is positive. It makes you smile, makes you anticipate the time that you have together. It's beneficial to both parties. Has positive assertive communication, meaning that I can say anything I need to let you know how I feel, or to share my emotions without you feeling like I'm directing them at you or taking a shot at you. Has healthy boundaries. I can say no and not feel obligated to change my mind or change my answer. I don't feel guilty. No is not a bad word in a healthy relationship. Your yeses are appreciated. Your time is valued. Both of you live in your right now. You're not focused on anything except currently, how to make things better, how to build. Um, and why is this important? I can't have a positive conversation with you if you are always regretting your past, talking about what happened in the past, or talking about what you're going to do in the future that you're not making no moves right now to do. So if you're not in your right now, you're either regretting or hoping. It's hard to keep a positive communication flow going with this person because they're not with you, you know? They're still trying to fix something they can't quite attain. So it's always important to control what you can control. They're empathetic. They can put themselves in your shoes, even if you know they wouldn't go through that situation in their life, or whatever you're going through just doesn't fit what their life looks like. They can still empathize with you and kind of be there for you. Um, you speak about the reasons why they love you, and their actions reflect those words. So a lot of people, they'll verbalize how they care, or how much they love you, or how much they really want the best for you. But when it's time, for you to show improve, the words and the actions don't go together. So that's a red flag. Um, they motivate you. They inspire you. They see your future in a positive light. And what I mean by that is, if you ever told somebody, hey, I'm having, a great whatever, or something's going exactly the way I want it to, or, I'm meeting my goals, or, reaching the things that I've been finally trying to do, or the things I've been trying to do, I'm actually getting them done. And that person gets irritated, or they start talking about, well, me too. And then they can't stop talking about themselves, and yet they can't celebrate you. That's a kind of red flag, because it shouldn't be a competition. When my person or my loved one says, I just got a promotion, or I got a raise or something, you're supposed to get excited with them. You don't have to have your hand out to get excited with them. And then on the other side of this, what is toxic? again, you need to kind of feel what your emotions do when you're with certain people. Do they drain your energy? Do they waste your time? Do they take your yeses for granted? Do they abuse you when you say no or not right now? When I say abuse you, meaning, if I say no, I got to hear all of these reasons why I'm wrong. I got to hear all of these reasons why, um, I should be doing whatever you want me to do. Um, so that's what I mean by abuse. They don't look forward to the time that you spend. You don't look forward to the time that you spend together, whether it be the beginning, middle, or end. You might get excited about seeing a person, but after a while, something sours when you're in the middle of that. And then they might drain your bank account with no exchange. Can I get this? Can I get that? Can I, what I'm saying, without thinking about the consequences that you have to endure if you give out of, give them something that you may not be able to afford to do. Sometimes toxic relationships, or most times toxic relationships, they make you sad. You could be tearful a lot. Your mood could be down and you really don't know what's wrong. And it's just, you dread part of actually being with those people, or a person. The interaction is somehow going to go bad. So it's important to pay attention to how you feel. Again, living in the past or trying to constantly talk about the future but not making any moves in the right now is huge. That those again are red flags, because if you're not doing anything in your right now, you can't fix the mistakes that you made, nor can you do anything about future goals if you're just sitting there talking about it. They may use people as scapegoats, or it's everybody else's fault. If whatever happens, whatever's wrong, it's everybody else's fault. That scapegoat type mentality, that's toxic. They use aggressive communication to try to control, or passive communication to try to do basically make it feel like that you're domineering, or you're too much. But they may not speak up, or they may speak up too much, and it just may be too. It's not necessary. It's too unnecessary roughness. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't. The trust is not there. Like, for whatever reason, you may love a person, but you don't trust them. That is also a toxic type feeling. They make excuses for their actions instead of taking responsibility. Easily frustrated. Needs a constant ego boost, and may be achieved by putting you or what you do or your goals down. Sometimes people feel good if you don't elevate. They just do. If they can tell you, no, put your dream on hold for 5-10 years, and you're going to sit there and listen, and they get to, kind of build themselves up while you're waiting. Sometimes that's not always a positive thing. Sometimes that's toxic. They don't listen to you. And then when you try to explain, a situation or your emotions or what you're going through, they don't understand. There's an apathy there. They can't put themselves in your shoes. It's just not something they do. And then let me get on the other side of that, which is, does this toxic connection, or the connection that you have with someone that's toxic, does that necessarily mean that person is toxic? No. There is somebody for everybody. One person's trash, another person's treasure. Y'all done heard this stuff before. They just might not mix well with you. Your chemistry, your makeup, your journey. They may be exactly what somebody else needs. So, have you ever gotten to a relationship and then got out of it, and it was like, that was horrible, and then you see them get in a relationship with somebody else and they seem like they are just extremely happy? It may not be that the person was toxic or that you were toxic. It may be the combination of the two of you that winds up being toxic. I'm reading notes here. Give me a second, y'all. So basically, how does that happen? How does two people that aren't really toxic people come together and just create toxicity? Well, Your light may have changed. The way they see you, the way you inspire people might have changed. Your frequency may have changed. Meaning, you put off a certain, like, people have a certain air about them, a certain way that they carry themselves. Maybe that's not attracted to that person anymore. Your chemistry may have changed. Maybe there's no physical attraction anymore, and that changes the relationship for someone. Um, Maybe it's time for you to upgrade. Maybe you've been in that relationship for as long as you need to have been in that relationship, and it's time to end that relationship. Some things are seasonal. Like, no matter how good or bad a person you are, there are people that are going to come and go out of your life. Doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. So, that toxic connection just may be your red flag to say, hey, we've outgrown each other. Um, and then back to the it's time for your upgrade, because I did want to say this part. When it's time for your upgrade, again, it doesn't mean that your partner or your friend or your whoever the relationship is with has done anything wrong. It's just sometimes you can't bring them bags over here. Hey, Shar, how you doing? You can't bring those bags over here. If you want to grow, you said you had a dream, or you got goals, or you got stuff that you're shooting for, and you need to get over there, but you know that the person that you with or the people that you frequent are not with your journey. You may have to leave them back there. You may have to just come visit them. It doesn't mean that you have to disconnect completely from them, but you can't take them on that journey with you. Um, Now, how do we know? When we say, give me a sign, give me a sign, give me a sign, how many times have we said, give me a sign, because I don't know what I need to do at this point. I'm at a place in my life where I don't know what I need to do. Sometimes our reality gets tired of beating us up with signs. So let's say you're doing everything that you need to do. You're on the right path. You're making money. Your career is good. Your transportation is good. Your relationship is good. Your bills are paid. You staying in a great relationship. The sex is good. You are not struggling with anything, and everything is fine. What do we normally do? We get content. We get complacent, right? Well, if I'm giving you a sign to say, hey, um, everything's good, keep going the way you going, but you feel like, okay, I done it all and I'm content, and how do I let you know that you need to move on? As far as life signs, life, we can't sit in one place. We can't just be stagnant. Well, if you didn't pay attention to the fact that everything was going good in your life, so you need to keep upgrading. If you just stopped, well, the sign needs to be, let me take away this good job, this good car, this good relationship. Let me stop allowing that person to pay their bills, so they can see you're not supposed to stay right here. You can't ask for a sign. You can't say, tell me what to do, show me my gift, and I just want to grow from that. But then you want to be complacent because everything in your life is good. So if you wake up one day and from no struggles, and all of a sudden everything feels like it's falling apart, sometimes that is a sign to say, hey, you've been here way too long. It's nice that you're enjoying where you are, but you're not supposed to stay here. You're not supposed to be here past this certain amount of time. This reality is no longer going to be a positive place for you. Um, and that's the stuff that happens. It's life storms, and that's okay, because that means that, hey, I wasn't supposed to stop here. I can enjoy my life and continue to grow with other people. Um, let's see. So if you it's so basically, I put here, how do you know? You ask a lot. You use the word, you ask the word, or you use the word should a lot. Like, your reality starts changing a little bit. You might be tearful. You might get sad. You might be mad about stuff. Everything that was good is now wrong. Like, all of those are signs that you may have gotten complacent. You may have stopped on the journey that you need to be on, and you need to move forward, and everything that was okay in your life all of a sudden feels wrong. That is a sign. Does not mean that anything in your life has to stay that way. It just means you have to start working on what you need to start working on. You're not here to be complacent. Um, and then here, I kind of wanted to use an analogy. When I say feel for the relationship, feel, make sure that you're paying attention to how you feel. It's kind of like food, y'all. You got a plate, you got a plate full of food. Um, Basically, some food makes you feel good. Some people make you feel good. You know, you ever been around somebody, they say, "Oh, baby, you are glowing. You are radiant. You are, and you can tell, your nails is growing, your hair is growing, your skin looks good." Um, some people they go through all of these positive changes, and it's like, okay, and let me just read here. Some people are good to you. Some people look good to you, but don't have the right flavor. Some people are bland. They're boring. Some people are spicy. These are just relationships. Some people are watered down. Some people are fake. Some people have great flavor, but they break you out. You still want to try it though. Again, some people you just don't like. You don't know why. Some people make you feel, like you should feel, and some people don't. You got to gauge that. How do you feel after you're with them, or after you communicate, or after y'all communicate? What do you think? How do you feel? You have to pay attention to that when you're thinking about relationships, and then understand you may be the toxic one. Sometimes we toxic and we don't know it. You may be toxic to them, by no fault of your own, meaning that for some reason they stopped growing when y'all started hanging out or y'all got together. It's important. It may not be anything wrong with either one of you. Um, Nobody knows but you and the other person unless you start doing or saying or being out of character. Then you start giving remarks and you start figuring out something's going wrong with this relationship. I don't like him for her. She talks too much. He's too bossy. Sometimes it's because you tell people stuff about your relationships and people don't like that. So when we're talking about relationships and the reception of how people receive you or your partner, what is your partner saying in these streets? What kind of spice are you adding to your plate? It just might be that your spice is not meant for this person anymore, or maybe it never was. The energy is off. And then we were talking a little bit, and y'all got to understand, I wrote this a little bit ago, so if it's a little bit choppy, y'all forgive me, because I was excited when I wrote it, but it's like I said, it's been a little bit since I went through this stuff. But basically, what is your dessert? Some people just are not good together. Like some people are smokers. Some people can't stand smoke. Some people are physically abusive. Some people aren't respectful. What do you do to seal your relationship or to make sure that it's working the way it needs to work? Maybe you go shopping too much. Maybe you're a gossiper. Maybe you're gambling. Maybe you're manipulating people. But when I say what is your dessert, that's basically me saying, what do you bring? What kind of flavor do you bring to this relationship to the point where it might add toxicity to it? Some people play the victim. And y'all excuse me again. Let me find these notes. What do you do in relationships or your daily life because it feels good, or you want to because you can't control yourself? Live your life, but don't make other people's pay for your choices. So in relationships and your everyday life, you have to be paying attention to your actions as well as other people's to make sure that you're not dealing with a toxic situation. Let's see. And then paying attention to what's it doing to your system, what's it doing, the side effects of how the relationship affects you. So if your relationship is affecting your life or the relationships of the people are affecting your life positively, wonderful. That's great. But if it's not, what's really going on? And then I'm back to the food analogy a little bit, y'all. So basically when I'm saying let's look at it like a plate. Um, you putting stress, job, children, whatever your materialistic things are on this plate. And sometimes everybody ain't working with a full set of china. I'm gonna say it like that. Hey Yvette, how you doing? Um, what you're using, or your stress or whatever's going on in your life, all of that. Just think about it being on the plate, and then think about people using you. If somebody toxic is using you or using your plate, you don't have so much room to do what you need to do, and eventually that gets overwhelming, and eventually that starts affecting you and the people that care about you. How big are your portions on your plate? Are you using your plate, using plates that aren't yours? Meaning, hey, have you got most of my stuff? You got all your stuff over here too. I'm just as stressed as you are about your life. I can't even focus on me. That's toxic. Can you handle the life you created? Or does your support system? Is your support system saying, "Hey, it's a problem. You shouldn't be going through this stress," or I don't like the way he treats you, or I don't like the way you act when you've been around them for a while. That's a sign of toxicity. You got to pay attention to those red flags. And then there are some people that lose their relationships because, again, I guess it would be more future stuff, but they are trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're trying to grow in a relationship, but at the same time, they want the world to see a certain image. And so they're not keeping up with finances, or maybe they are not budgeting the way they need to do, or maybe they're going shopping too much, or for whatever reason. Whatever the reason is, if you are overwhelmed, it overwhelms your support system because they want to be there for you. It's important to make sure that in your relationships that you can say no. Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries, y'all. Again, this is a little bit choppy, so I apologize, y'all. Last part of this, I was saying, are you sharing your plate? Are you being abused? Are you being used? Sometimes we take on other people's stuff and we don't have the room to. Clean your plate if it's positive. Get rid of things if it's not. Clean up, start again. Keep yourself in mind. Okay, off of this notebook, y'all, because I was all over the place. Hey, Tyrone. Hey, Les. Hey, Tip. Y'all gotta excuse me because, like I said, this I wrote it a while ago, but the basic part that I wanted to say the most is in any relationship, whether it's your parents, whether it's your kids, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whatever it is, like if it doesn't feel good, figure out why. If it's pushing your healthy boundaries, if it's pushing what you believe in, if it's draining your bank account, if you're waking up or going to sleep not feeling good about being around these people or these situations, that's usually the red flags for toxic, y'all. It's hard sometimes when you know that some people have toxic tendencies, meaning they're not bad people, but they're not good for you. You just have to pay attention to those things. But ultimately, the healthy relationship is, like, again, something that makes you feel good, something that you look forward to. You understand what it feels like to be excited when you wake up in the morning. You're happy to see the person that you're going to see. When you leave, it's a positive exchange and you're looking forward to seeing them again. Like, once you start dreading certain times and certain experiences with certain people, you need to figure out why. And don't wait until it's horrible or they've destroyed something that you were trying to build on. It's just, it's important that you pay attention to those red flags. Okay, let me see if anybody had any questions before I get off of here. Like I said, I hate that it took this long, and I hate that it was choppy. If we need to do a part two, we can. Um, Yvette, well, I'm happy to say out of that, I was in and I feel super free. I know that's right. And hey, Char, I hear you. Same thing. She said, yes, me too. Yeah. Toxicity, it's a hard thing because, and y'all have to realize too, I've had to tell clients this quite a lot lately. Some people aren't good people. Some people just aren't good people, and they don't care to be good people. And a lot of good people who are givers try to give people the benefit of the doubt. They try to um, basically say, well, if I can see the potential, if I can see your potential, if I believe in you enough, then I can, my hope will rub off on you and you'll believe in yourself. That's not always true. Everybody doesn't want to be a positive person. Everybody doesn't want things to happen for your good. Everybody doesn't take you into consideration before they make choices. So, um, right, Les, exactly. Les said that's me. Right. So, and if you're that person that gets walked on because they say yes all the time, even though you know that it's not okay for you. It's beating you up. It's tearing you down. It's not allowing you to live your hopes, your dreams, your goals. That's a red flag. That is, and that's a you thing. Again, don't forget when we were talking about these relationships, we were talking about ourselves too. You got to get in the mirror and make sure that you're not bringing those desserts to the table that are no good for you. If you sitting up here constantly bringing in bad finances, or bringing in somebody that may not be positive to the situation. Maybe you got a tendency to have people in your life that do things that are detrimental to what you do or who you are, or just bad influences, period. Like, you gotta you have to make choices according to how people affect your life. Like, we have to stop putting people on pedestals. Maybe that's the best way to say it. When we have parents, and mom, dad is up here, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and they're all on these little pedestals, and everybody under them can't get away with none of this. But then you see this person do it all of a sudden. They're on a pedestal and they disrespectful, they don't care about your situation, none of that. And regardless, they don't have consequences. Natural consequences are necessary, period. I mean, if you tell me I don't like it when you treat me this way, and you don't do anything about it, I don't care what you like. Tiffany said that part, and Josh said yes. I don't care what you like. I don't care. Like, if you're gonna let me walk over you, all over you, and I'm a taker, and you're a giver, and you're not gonna tell me no, and you're not gonna give me any boundaries, yeah, I'm gonna throw all kinds of stuff on your plate, and I'm gonna watch your plate crumble while mine is over here clear and ready to grab on to positive things. That's what takers do. That's what people that truly don't have your best intentions in mind do. They take advantage of what's available. And you have to be careful that you're not that person that's always available. Don't be available all the time. Sometimes you have to say, my time is so valuable, I don't want to waste it one more moment on you, you know? And, they got to get with the program. Like I said, you don't always choose to cut off a toxic person, but you can draw boundary lines to make sure that they are so far from your inside circle that they can't hurt you. You gauge people according to their actions. If their actions say, every time I spend 2 weeks with you, I go to jail. Well, you probably want to cut that time in half. You know what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to the patterns of what happens when you're with people. And if it's toxic, you have to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in denial and the other person is acting like it's all good, nobody's going to fix nothing. But if you're paying attention and I don't like the way you treated me, I don't like the way you talk to me, and I don't feel like I want to spend time with you for a while. I think I need to pull myself back. I need to make sure that I'm okay, and take a month or two off. Maybe spend a day or two with that person, a weekend every now and then. But no, you can't get all my time, because every time I give you my time, there's something toxic that takes place. And it doesn't matter if that person calls it bad luck or somebody else's fault or anything. Like, regardless, it happens every time I'm with you. I have to pay attention to my life lessons. If I'm not paying attention to every time this happens when you're around, then they're giving me signs. I'm seeing the signs and I'm ignoring them. That's when your life starts falling apart. Yvette said, my heart was too kind for the weak in spirit. Then I stopped all and things got cray. I stand my ground. You are absolutely right. Charles said, I love myself too much to keep you in my life. Yes, I love that. I love myself too much to keep you in my life. I love that. That's a perfect way to put it. Like, that's a great point too. Sometimes you do have to cut somebody off. Sometimes they're going to keep doing exactly what they're doing until you tell them they have no more access to you, period. But again, that is something that you have to gauge. You have to pay attention to the red flags, and then you have to act accordingly. Tiffany said you have to love yourself before you can love others. Yes, that is so important. Basically, you can't love me any more than you love yourself. And it doesn't matter. And so when you hear a person say, I love you more than myself, be careful. Because you can't do that. You don't have the capacity to love me more than yourself. You don't have the capacity. So if you don't love you, if you're trying to hurt you, if you're constantly going through ugly situations and abusing yourself and not caring or not doing nothing about it, then that's how much you love me. You would drag me right on with you. And I know that's toxic. Again, empathy is important. If you can't put yourself in my shoes long enough to see where I'm coming from, even though you don't agree, again, that's toxic. You have to be able to communicate assertively to be able, if you can't say what you want to say, like if somebody's telling you to shut up because you're talking about your emotions, that's a red flag. Did you start out that way? And I tell a lot of people, like, pay attention to how your relationship started and what it is right now and what happened in between. If you stop having consequences for their actions and they started taking advantage of that, that's toxic. And if you're caught up in that cycle, you're the only one that can pull yourself out of it. When you go out here and you talk to people that are your support system, whether it's your best friend, your moms, your dads, what you are saying to these people are making an impression. And they're going to remember the bad times well past all the things you say that person does well. So first of all, make sure that when you open your mouth to this support system, that you're being real, that you're saying the whole story, or they're going to be looking at your person bad. That may be one reason that you lose your support system. But the other may be, I just don't approve of that person. I don't like what they do to your life. I don't think you see it. I don't think you're paying attention to it. And therefore, I choose not to be around you. You wind up losing people. When you are in a situation where everybody that you loved, and you had a positive circle, walks away from you, that's huge red flags. Like, go back and figure out what happened. Did the people that walked away from you, were they the toxic ones? Or did they need to be pushed out of your life? Or is the person that you are keeping as the centerpiece the problem, and they don't want to be around it? You got to pay attention. Tyrone says, do a part 2. I got this on this late. I bumbled it up because I've been all over the place. When you write and then you put stuff down and then you got a concept and then you wait too long and the concept all over the place, y'all. So I hope y'all understood what I was trying to say, but I can definitely do a part 2 if y'all want me to. All you gotta do is let me know. Definitely. Yeah, and I really want y'all to start letting me know what y'all want to hear, so I can get a little bit more rehearsed and talk to y'all a little bit more about stuff, because I like coming up here talking to y'all. It's just that I don't like coming on live if I don't have nothing to say, and then when I do come up here, I want to have something really to say. So y'all let me know. Yvette said, when you tell people how they are, they get highly upset it was all for the take and didn't appreciate. All better now for me, although still care and love, just saying not to that extent. I did just say that. Um, Always loving myself first. I will never ever let no one take my genuine smile away, period. Exactly. Um, and I mean, you have to realize, just like there is somebody for everybody, y'all. These takers out here that all they want to do is take, it's some people that don't know how to do anything but give. There is somebody out there for every messed up relationship that you have ever been in. When I'm talking intimacy now, like, we can't choose our parents, cousins, family, blood relatives unless you decide, you like my family. You meet those friends. But ultimately, when it comes to relationships, like, there are some people that are purely takers. And there are some people that are purely givers. And they get along great when they're together. And it looks weird to us. But, you got to leave them out there. If you notice then that your whole plate, again, the plate is crammed up with somebody else's stuff, and you got no room to put your stuff, dump that shit out and start over, like that. But then that's like, that imbalance tells you that, yeah, this wasn't the person for me, and it doesn't make the person a bad person. It just makes them a bad person for you. Oh, okay, Char, you gotta go. I understand. Thank you. She said the piece, it was great. All right, y'all. Well, I'm not staying up here too much longer. I just wanted to make sure that y'all understood, or basically got what I was saying in the concept of healthy relationship versus toxic. Like, whatever you bring to the table, that's great, as long as the person that you are with is not suffering and you're not suffering. Like, if you're happy with whoever you're with, that's fine. But if those red flags are coming up and your support system is falling off and things are falling apart, pay attention. Stop. There's nothing wrong with pausing and looking around and making sure that you are looking at things the right way. Sometimes we get tunnel vision. And we forget about our hopes. We forget about our goals. We forget about our dreams. And all we see is googly eyed, this person that is perfect for me. That sometimes them is rose-colored glasses, y'all. We got to take them off and pay attention. But try to do it before it's too late, before they start messing your stuff up. Yvette said, they will always make you the villain. They hide behind escape accountability. I can't see myself with a woman like that. I definitely see that. But guess what? There is somebody out there that is dying to get somebody that wants to be just like that. So again, toxic doesn't mean you are completely there are some toxic people, but sometimes two people just don't mesh for whatever reason, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we demonize our exes so much because they were not our one, and it's just like, it's okay not to be my one as long as you a good one. You know what I'm saying? I have friends. All my exes and me are friends. I don't know if I got an ex that I'm enemies with. If I can say I love you at any point and I meant it, it really doesn't matter what your actions are. That my actions are to pull away from you because you weren't good for me. But as far as I love you, my love is still there. You just don't have access to me anymore, and that's your loss. Hey Marty. He said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Yep, and you believe them the first time. If you need to keep getting that repeat message, yeah, it's not okay. Believe them the first time. They're telling you who they are when they're showing you with their actions. And then Yvette said, I saw the signs and turned my head, so I hold myself accountable. Yeah, we have to a certain extent, but you can't stay there and beat yourself up either. You move on and find somebody that is going to definitely appreciate who you are and what you bring to the table, and vice versa. Okay, y'all. Well, I think I am done. I am dating a little bit. Good. Exactly. And you know what? That's the show we need to do, y'all. Single versus dating. Like, everybody act like it's so nice to be in a relationship, and then they running over here to single, and then everybody act like it's the place to be single, but they trying to get in a relationship. Like, You know, that dance is real. That dance is real. Like, what do you do? You know, what is the perfect single life? What is the perfect, you know, dating life? What is the perfect relationship? You know, at this point, I don't even think I want no friend, girlfriend, nothing. Like, I want, you know, my person. And I feel like a lot of people are getting to the point where it's like we either dating or we getting married. Like, I don't care about none of the other stuff. All right, not at all. I am fine. I hear you, Vet. Okay, well, y'all, like I said, if we need to do a part two, y'all holler at me on my page or in the Z Spot. I appreciate all the support and y'all listening to me. I hope this made sense. I feel like I was all over the place initially, but I hope I was able to bring that all in so that everybody understood what I was trying to say. Read from my notes are not always the greatest, but I think we pulled it off.